Hey, y'all been hearing about the injuries to the 76ers?
Yeah.
Um,
They're cursed.
the curse.
You can't convince me they're not cursed. Like it happens too often, bro. I know like Joel Embiid has been having injuries for like forever, but never has he been healthy for this long and then something happens. Like they're cursed. Sam Hinkie had to make the basketball gods mad because it don't make no sense that every single time when they around the playoffs, it's just them. Like you're not hearing about a lot of other people get injured. Injured, it's just them. That's weird.
But like Joel Embiid hasn't he'll be back in a couple games. Like all he did was roll an ankle. But then like Ben Simmons, Patrick
He's out.
Mahomes had a more severe injury, like the exact same injury, but more severe because it was a complete dislocation of the knee. In the NFL, which is obviously more physical, he was back in like 3 weeks. So when they say that Ben Simmons is likely out for the season, are they just assuming they're gonna lose?
I think it's more the one. I assume it's a combination of not necessarily wanting to rush it, and also like it's assuming like even if they take the time and like he's realistically able to come back at some point before the season is over, like if they lose in the playoffs or whatever before he's good to go, it doesn't matter that he's good to go like a day or a week later. It's too late now.
Maybe if he's like because of his injury, he'll shoot more jump shots.
He won't, but it's a nice thought.
But he hired a psychiatrist to help him with his mental blockades.
Rome wasn't built in a day, even if it does work. Like it's not gonna be like I hired my psychologist or whatever in June. I'm fixed in July, like or the beginning or the middle of August. Like I'm pretty sure that's not how any of that works.
It seems like that'd be a lot of unlearning.
Yeah.
I, a lot of unlearning to just do less. Uh, I mean, I guess, but also Ben Simmons coming out of LSU, has he disappointed me? Yes, he has. Because at LSU, he was a monster. Like this guy was a freak show, especially coming out of high school to LSU. But then he came to college or came to the NBA, and I was like, oh, he's doing this thing. But then he hasn't grown at all as a basketball player since. It's a bit irritating. Like, come on, man. You in the NBA, at least hit a free throw, at least get some more moves in your arsenal. But he pretty much is doing the exact same thing he's been doing for the last how long has he been in the league? 3 years,
I think it's been about 3 years.
3 4 years. Yeah. So I'm like his great like that irritates me more. That irritates me the most in basketball when it comes to like watching the NBA. Is watching people who when they first get there who never grew as a player. That's why I hate Dwight Howard so much because Dwight Howard literally every year he got into his game. He got a jump shot. He never grew as a player. And Ben Simmons, I know it's only been 3 or 4 years, and Dwight's been like what a decade plus. But 3 years is enough to add something to your game. But we always see the footage in the summertime of, oh, he getting a jump shot where, who knows how many takes it took for them to show those three jump shots in a row, but we see the three jump shots in a row that he makes. And then he gets to the league and shoots nothing.
So is that the player fault that they didn't make your expectations, or is that your fault for having expectations for that player? Because it's not like Ben Simmons, like even in high school, like he could shoot the three, but that's not the same. That's not the same distance, and he also wasn't shooting it at like a high clip.
Yeah.
Like this game was never like about that. Some people just can't shoot the three.
So whose fault is it? I think it's both. Like, it's my fault and it's their fault. And I say that because it's their fault. It's Ben Simmons' fault for shooting a mid-range jump shot in high school, and then shooting a little bit of mid-range in college, and then none in the NBA. So you set my expectations up to be as a jump shooter, mid-range is subpar. Like mid-range is subpar, at least. So you set my expectations up to be subpar, and you didn't even reach that. So maybe my expectations shouldn't have been there at all. But you are in the NBA. You're getting paid millions to play basketball. I'm gonna assume that you're gonna try to work on your craft a little bit because but I also have just as many examples of, LeBron not being able to shoot, and all of a sudden, boom, he could shoot. You know what I mean? And people who couldn't dribble, all of a sudden, they're able to dribble. People playing who weren't great at defense, all of a sudden, working and being better at defense. We have all these examples. So then, all of a sudden, on the flip side, when you have people like Ben Simmons and Dwight Howard and whatever, who just are top 5 picks in the NBA, like number 1 pick. Was Dwight Howard the number 1 pick of this year?
Yeah.
And then Ben Simmons was number 1 pick of his year.
Yeah.
You can't be number 1 picks and you cannot grow at all. I know
Okay.
you can, but I hate it.
Okay, well, a couple things. First, address that. Kwame Brown was a mediocre NBA player, but he was in the league. What's that man's name? Anthony Bennett. He exists, but that's not the point. He washed. We're gonna ignore him.
Yeah.
But in fairness to Dwight Howard, though, like, and like maybe like my understanding isn't the best. It's like, granted, he didn't become a different player, but to a point, he became a better version of what he tended to be ahead of time. It wasn't like he never got any better. He's just a better version of what he already was. Also, in this case, I'm talking Dwight Howard specifically. But I think with Ben Simmons, and I think it's also kind of the case with dang it, what's his name? Evans.
Oh, you mean he went to Ohio State? Tyreek Evans? No,
Evan Turner.
Evan Turner.
No. I think I mean Tyreek Evans.
Tyreek Evans from Sacramento?
Yeah, him. All right. I think part of the issue with both of them is in the case of Tyreek Evans, it was like he was like they tried to turn him into like a 2 or like they tried to turn him into a wing when he was a point guard.
Yeah.
And of course that's a whole other process unto itself, like learning how to do that properly and whatever. And I think because of that, and them constantly moving him like position to position, never really got to a point where like he was ever really able to become as good as he should have been, or even like as good as he showed he could be. I think his rookie year, because I think by the numbers that's like his best year.
His rookie of the year, yeah.
Yeah, right. And with like Simmons, part of the issue aside from like not necessarily aside from like I'm assuming people in general not necessarily knowing what to do with a dude who's like built like a house, who can like pass, who can like hit anybody anywhere at any time with his passes, and will just kind of dunk on you when he gets ready. And like also the way the game is set, or the way people talk about the game and play the game now, like they consider the mid range, almost regardless of whether you're actually a good mid range shooter, to be a bad shot. So like his mid range
was see like the best players in the league who have a mid range jump shot. LeBron, Kyrie, Kawhi, the best players who have won championships in the last who knows years. Even Steph Curry has a good mid range jump shot. Like the best players who win championships have mid range jump shots. So I hate those analytic guys who always say that's like a bad shot when those shots win championships. But keep going.
No, like I'm with you, but like, and so like you get, and like I know especially when like he first got to Philly, like, and probably still now they're like heavy on the analytics, not necessarily to the degree that like I think Houston is, but still. And so like he probably got discouraged from taking those shots when he initially got in the league, and so now he doesn't really take jumpers, like he's always at the rim, and like he's not a great 3-point shooter. It's kind of playing to his strengths, but it's limiting him in that like if he was taking a mid range, they like folks would at least have to come out and play him. Right.
No one should be playing Ben. No one should be playing Ben Simmons as if you're playing Rondo in 2009. You know what I mean? Like the defense backs off of Ben Simmons so far, it's obnoxious. And then even Rondo, you know, '08 or 2008 through like I guess till now when he plays, they gotta get up on him a little closer. You know what I mean? Each year they start getting on him a little closer, a little closer, a little closer because he would start taking those jump shots, and every so often Rondo would drop 38 points on you. He dropped 40
against the Heat.
Exactly. He'll drop some points on you, right? All of a sudden, he'll keep going off for triple double kind of stuff, keep killing you. Ben Simmons, they drop off further back than they did Rondo. I'm like, oh, and we was clowning Rondo back in the day. So I'm like, Ben Simmons, you deserve to get clowned, but like, at least take him. And Rondo took him at least. I'm like, Ben Simmons, can you please? You're 6'10", you at the rim already. Like, he don't even got a floater. Like,
yeah, that's
at least get a floater. But also, if you think about it,
like, in fairness, like you're 6'10", you don't really need a floater.
You should probably develop one if you're not going to shoot the ball, though.
you got to develop something around the rim.
Oh no, I respect
And
that.
he's
Like,
not have a floater by now.
But also think about it. Does Ben Simmons have great touch around the rim? No. Like compared to like Giannis, at least Giannis has a soft touch. He's powerful, but also has like a weirdly soft touch around the rim. You know what I mean? Nurkic, like it's a whole different story. Like his touch a little too soft. I'm like, come on, Charmin. But like Ben Simmons, donk, clank. Like his touch isn't soft, and it's like, why are you so rough? You know what I mean? Like why are you so jagged? He got to the league purely based off of being a 6'10" guy who is wildly athletic, runs like a deer, you know, can jump at the gym for 6'10". But when it comes to just basketball touch of the scoring aspect, he don't got it. Like he really don't. Like when it comes, you know, he got the IQ, the passing abilities, you know, the court vision. But like when it comes to the scoring thing, I'm just like you don't got it, man. And I'm just like, it's kind of rough to see. But like when the ball hits, look, when his ball hits the rim, it makes the same sound as Dwight in his prime when the ball hit the rim. Just clank, donk, bang shot, boom, boom. You know what I mean? It's nothing like no swishes, no swooshes, nothing like that. It's just a bunch of clanks.
Hey, Ben Simmons is this is his third year in the season. This is technically his third year because he had to sit out.
Oh, he did
his rookie year because of the injury. But one thing that I noticed with Dwight Howard and Ben Simmons, they were in the number 1 draft pick, and so far, oh my God, this is so bad. Hey, Ben Simmons shoots 8.3% from the 3-point line.
Wait, you said what?
For his career, he's shooting 8.3% from the 3-point line.
That's astounding.
That kind of makes sense, though. It kind of makes sense.
To be under 10% and be in the league is astounding to me.
Not when you're 6'10".
When you're a guard.
He's a 6'10" guard. There's different rules.
Yeah.
Have you ever played with Magic on 2K? And you ever see him shoot the ball and he just like it take about 3 to 4 seconds for him to release the ball? Like even Magic shot over 10%. And he had HIV.
Come on, bro.
What's that got to do with basketball?
Nothing.
The goddamn thing. Bro, but they weren't respecting that man jump shot like that either, especially in the era where they would just kind of be like, if you gonna take it, I mean, do what you gotta do. But with that being said, Ben Simmons and Dwight were both number 1 picks, and looking at who else they were drafted with, at this exact moment, they are the best players from the draft. Regardless of upgrading skills, Dwight Howard's only competition is Andre Iguodala from the 2004 draft class. And the jury's still out for Ben Simmons because they got Brandon Ingram and Jaylen Brown. But I would rather have Ben Simmons over Brandon Ingram right now. Jaylen Brown is
Two things.
It's close. It's close.
One, didn't Chris Paul get drafted in 2004? Or was it 2005?
I believe it's 2005.
I thought it was 2004.
It's 2005.
Okay, well, I was mistaken then. I've been saying the wrong fact my whole life then.
Yeah.
Um, but I don't know about that Ben Simmons, Brandon Ingram one, especially after this year. Brandon Ingram looking no, Brent. You said or was that? Yeah, it was last week. I guess it was last Monday. Since when's Bi looking this nice all year?
Okay, so what is he doing defensively? Because Ben Simmons, a big chunk of the reason why we're completely throwing up every time we see Ben Simmons touch the ball, that's because he can play the hell out of some defense. That's
Brandon
the only
Ingram
thing that
plays.
saves that boy's career at this
Brandon
point.
Ingram.
If he was an average defender, we'd be like, okay, Boris Diaw, you got to do something else.
Brandon Ingram is, if I remember correctly, an above average defender. On the team for the Pelicans after Alonzo and Drew Holiday, it was like him and Josh Hart. Excluding Zion, but Zion's just everywhere, right? But like him and Josh Hart were tied for like the third best defenders in the league. But like Drew Holiday is all defensive player, and Lonzo is gonna eventually be an all defensive player. You know what I mean? So Brandon Ingram is not a slouch on defense, but his offense is. You average like 25 a game this year, and can catch and shoot threes off the dribble, mid range, do it all. I might legitimately take Brandon Ingram over Ben Simmons right now if I do a redraft.
All right, Ben Simmons can give me 16, 8, and 8. I really love all around play. I can put shooters around Ben Simmons. Like I don't know enough about Bi. I'm not discouraging them. I just think that's like what you want.
Look up his stats for this year.
Yeah, Brandon Ingram. Let's see what he got. Okay, so 24, 6, and 4.
24,
39% from 3-point line.
24, 6, and 4 ain't bad. It's
not at all.
No. But what's better, 24, 6, and 4, or 16, 8, and 8? When that 16 is odd. It's an odd 16, but it's still 16. But like, which one's also Brandon Ingram's game just doesn't work great with Joel Embiid. So it's also the team. Like,
yeah,
Brandon Ingram inherently would work better with Joel Embiid.
Hands down. But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like if you just like if somebody was like, which one of these players do you want? Probably leaning towards Ben Simmons.
I'm leaning towards the 24, 6, and 4.
Yeah, I can. You can recover 8 points. I think you can recover 8 points, especially if this dude can give you 8 assists. I think you can recover 8 points. That's my only thing. That's the same reason why I think LeBron James is the greatest player of all time. He can do everything. Ben Simmons can do everything but shoot.
Yeah, but not shooting destroys a lot of the team dynamic though. It really.
I can put you in a different place.
Like
you were saying with the Joel Embiid thing, I think Ben Simmons is an all-star, like a high-level all-star by himself in any situation. Bi, I know he can give me buckets. I know he can give me buckets. I know he's an all-star this year, but I also know this 1 year. Sorry.
If you watch this game though, you know it's gonna translate over.
Oh yeah, of course.
From year to year.
He's like 6'9", scoring 24. Yeah, that's light work.
He taller than 6'9", but like he one of them you line by his height because like he like a Kevin Durant like 6'10", 6'11", he tall, like he tall, but like it's gonna translate over. Also, he can spread the court, and he's developed as a player automatically. He's done something that Ben Simmons has yet to do. Develop as a player automatically, and like, sorry, can I say again?
Like, no, I'm gonna say as far as Ben Simmons, not to say you're wrong, because like you can look at the numbers. You're right. Other than I don't know, maybe he's a better defender now than he was, debatably. But what I would say as far as him, like in terms of development, it's like the team and like him are gonna need to decide what they actually want him, how they want him to develop. Like, are we gonna continue to have him be a guard? Or are we gonna let him be like a power forward and bang in the post? Like his body can clearly handle it. Or like, or like how they're gonna do it, because clearly whatever they've been trying to do has not been working
This
They
in
Ben
got
terms
him
Simmons.
of like
off the ball now, so like that's a plus. But
Wait, this is Ben Simmons or Bi?
yeah, they got Ben Simmons playing off the ball now.
I mean, yeah. I mean,
He's the 3/4,
is
but
that
most 4. They got him running as like a cutter, basically.
okay? So he's gonna be posting up.
Uh,
So he's
I I can't really describe all the actions that they're doing. Like they got him, they run him as a cutter. Occasionally he facilitates from like the high post, and those are
that
like the best
that
things you get
facilitating
from
from the high post don't do nothing if they can just take 3 steps back. Like shoot it. I'm scared. Like that's like you got to be a threat and like
I
if
mean
Ben Simmons gets the
they're
ball,
not gonna do too much of, like if he throws an alley to like Embiid or what have you. Like there's not a whole lot they can do. They just kind of
because
just
if
gotta
Ben Simmons, if Ben Simmons, basic basketball, you get the ball, you triple threat. For most people, you got 3 options: pass, shoot, dribble. Ben Simmons, you immediately take one away. Like one's gone, and like if you're the high post, he like I guess you could dribble with him, but also that's like an easy charge. You know what I mean? Like and then he passes to a Joel Embiid. Like I don't know, like he limits your offense so much. And I like Ben Simmons. I think it comes like coming across like I don't. Like I genuinely like Ben Simmons as a player, but he does stagnate.
have some serious shortcomings.
Oh,
Stagnant, whatever. Yeah,
he just stagnates your offense.
that's that's
That's
fair, especially how they have him playing right now. Yeah, that's a fair argument, especially with like Philly, where like a lot of your players are better, like do a lot of their best work around the rim.
Yeah. Oh boy. Well, get healthy. Get healthy, Ben Simmons.